Okay, we're here connected to another event that happened during at the end of the reign of King Saul, and I think that's what Keith wants to talk to us about.
Oh, okay. Are you gonna talk about the
Oh, you want me to start off?
Yeah, you want to?
Oh yeah.
Oh, did you want me to start?
No, I don't know where you want to go in, but I'll start off with the chapter 11 part of the story,
Yeah.
and then you can continue because
Chapter 11 of what?
First Samuel.
First Samuel chapter 11. For those of you who want to go this, and it goes like this. I'm going to read this weird like, okay? The backdrop for this story is um, the children of Israel have inherited or conquered the land more or less. Each of the tribe is sitting in a different place, but there's a lot of enemies from all over the place, and there's always already been a request to solve this cycle of oppressors and heroes and oppressors and heroes by creating a kingdom. Now, what does a kingdom create? It creates mutual responsibility. Okay? If I'm just the tribe of Judea over there, and this is the tribe of Manasseh over here, when somebody attacks the tribe of Manasseh, why does that mean that I have to come help him? You guys with me on this one? Okay, like NATO. What's NATO? It's a mutual military pact, which means, okay, it all serves our purpose because if you attack one of us, you basically attack all of us. Okay? So there's an argument. So the king is supposed to be the one that creates this mutual responsibility. But not everybody agrees that there should be this responsibility for for the other. But they've already made Saul the king. He's already been anointed. But there's an argument. There's an argument going on among the people, and it says this. And I'm in 1 Samuel chapter 11, and it says that Nahash the Ammonite came up and encamped against the men of Jabesh Gilead. Jabesh Gilead is a little Israelite town just on the other side of the Jordan River, okay? And this warlord or local king named Nahash, who was of the people of the Ammonites, okay, come up to the city of Jabesh Gilead and say, I'm here, okay, I'm your boss. He encamped against them, actually declared war on them. And the men of Jabesh Gilead said to Nahash the Ammonite, make a covenant with us and we will serve you. And now, again, read between the lines, meaning this. They knew that they had no chance. They were basically what? They were giving up. They were flying the white flag. I mean, they're saying, okay, we got the idea. You come to conquer us. We give in, okay? And we will serve you. Really realizing that there was no way that they were going to be able to come out of this battle. But Nahash the Ammonite said to them, on this condition I will make a covenant, that I put out all your right eyes, and I bring reproach to all of Israel. Basically, Nahash the Ammonite is saying, okay, I understand that you're not going to win this battle, but I'm going to make this an issue not only about you, but to all of Israel. You guys think you're a kingdom, you're thinking of it. I'm going to show everybody that you are not a kingdom. I'm going to line up all the men and poke out their right eye. Why the right eye?
It's more dominant.
Well, it's more dominant. You can't fight. You can't pull a bow. I mean, anybody who's trying to aim a rifle over through the other eye, I mean, doesn't work.
Did he do that?
Would he do it? People, by the way, people did things like that back in ancient times. I don't know if you know, ancient warfare is extremely gross and much more. And here's the part that I was a kid about. And the elders of Jabesh Gilead said to him, wait a minute. Okay, we gave up. We know, but nobody was talking about right eyes. Let's renegotiate this. I mean, and they said, hold off for 7 days, that we may send messengers to the territory of Israel, and if there's no one to save us, we will come out to you. Again, read between the lines. They're basically saying this. Okay, you've made this an issue where you want to shame all of our brothers and all of our cousins all over Israel. At least let them know. I mean, let them know that this is going to happen. I mean, if you're going to poke out our right eyes for this, you understand that they must have thought their military situation was in the gutter. I mean, they must have thought that there was nothing they could do. But they said, okay, if you're going to make this an honor for the rest of the family, let the rest of the family know. So they sent messengers. And the messengers came to Gibeah, where Saul was, and they told the news in the hearing of the people. And this is the sad part of the story. Okay? What did the people do when they heard this? They lifted up their voices and wept. They were very sad. It was terrible. These men of Jabesh Gilead are going to lose their right eye. What didn't they do? They didn't pick up their swords and go to save them. Okay. And Saul came from the field and said, "What troubles the people that they weep?" And they told him that the words of the men of Jabesh Gilead. And here's an interesting, very, very interesting verse. And it says this: "And the Spirit of God came upon Saul when he heard the news, and his anger was greatly aroused." Now, we all know that Saul had a major, major issue with what?
Anger.
With anger. But here, the Spirit of God is coming down on Saul and using his anger. And he took a yoke of oxen and he cut them into pieces and sent them throughout the territory in the hands of the messengers, saying, "Who does not come out with Saul and Samuel to battle, this is what I'm going to do to his oxen." By the way, in modern terms, this is a farming community. He took a John Deere, he broke it up into pieces, put it on the truck, and he says, "This is what I'm going to do to all of your tractors if you do not come to fight." And you guys can understand that kind of equation. And basically he's saying, if you can't plow and if you can't plant, you can't eat. I am going to ruin your livelihood. He's threatening their livelihood if they don't come to fight. Basically he's saying this: we're all responsible for everybody. And that's the whole idea. And the fear of the Lord fell upon the people, and they came out together, and when he numbered them in Bezek, the children of Israel were 300,000, and the men of Judah were 30,000. And they said to the messengers who had come, "Go back and tell the men of Jabesh Gilead that tomorrow the cavalry is coming." No, it doesn't say that. "By tomorrow, by this time, the sun is going to be hot, and you shall have help." And the messengers reported to the men of Jabesh Gilead, and this is the understatement of the Bible, and they were glad. They were totally glad. They said to Nahash the Ammonite, "Tomorrow we will finish this off." And the next day Saul came with the people. They put them in companies in the midst of the camp, and they killed the Ammonites till the heat of the day. And it happened that those who were survived were scattered. And the people said to Samuel, "Okay, who said that we shouldn't have a king? Who said that Saul should not reign over us? Bring that and we will kill them." And Samuel said, okay, we got the idea. And basically this is where Saul makes his political debut. This is where Saul, as a king, shows for the first time what a king should be and what should be actually done. By the way, he doesn't continue this. We see the life of Saul does not continue in this Spirit of God in the correct manner. But this is the beginning of Saul's political career. The end of Saul's political career, I think, is what Keith wants to talk about. This is 1 Samuel chapter 11. And Nahash the Ammonite.
So me? I want to do 1 Samuel 15. Use your phone, your Bible?
By the way, why are we sitting here? That is the city of BeitShan. Use your imagination. At the time that we're talking about, there would have been a wall around the top of that, like the wall we saw around Megiddo. Okay? A wall around the top of that. There would have been a fortress on the top of that. And everybody sitting anywhere in this valley would have been able to see that wall in that city up there.
Alright. 1 Samuel 15 says, Samuel said, so this Saul is like, this is the change in Saul's life. This is when he goes from basically the Saul that most people think of, from the humble Saul that they started out as. Samuel also said to Saul, "The Lord sent me to anoint you king over his people, over Israel. Now therefore heed the voice of the words of the Lord. Thus says the Lord of hosts, I will punish Amalek for what he did to Israel, how he ambushed him on the way when he come up from Egypt." So this is going like way back, like the time of Moses, for what they had done. "Thus said the Lord of hosts, I will punish Amalek for what he did to Israel, how he ambushed him on the way when he came up from Egypt. Now go and attack Amalek and utterly destroy all that they have, and do not spare them, but kill both man and woman, infant and nursing child, ox and sheep, camel and donkey." All right, so he gets this command. He's like, I want you to destroy everybody. Absolutely everything. You guys want to know what the Hebrew word for everything is? Everything. Actually, I don't know. What is it actually? Do you know?
Hakol.
There you go. That's everything. You guys all knew that, right? So Saul gathered the people together and numbered them in Timlah, 200,000 foot soldiers and 10,000 men of Judah. And Saul came to a city of Amalek and lay in wait in the valley. Then Saul said to the Kenites, Go depart, get down from among the Amalekites, lest I destroy you with them. For you showed kindness to all the children of Israel when we came up out of Egypt. So the Kenites departed from among the Amalekites. And Saul attacked the Amalekites from Havilah all the way to Shur, which is in the east of Egypt. He also took Agag, king of the Amalekites, alive, and utterly destroyed all the people at the edge of the sword. But Saul and the people spared Agag and the best of the sheep, the oxen, the fatlings, the lambs, and all that was good, and were unwilling to utterly destroy them. But everything despised and worthless, they utterly destroyed. So what do we see Saul doing? He goes to battle, and he has a great victory, but then he plunders. He plunders, and that's what you do when you have victory, right? That's what everyone does. You have victory, you go and plunder the battlefield, you take everything that was good, and he says everything that was worthless utterly got destroyed, but everything that was good and useful, okay, that we kept. Now the word of the Lord came to Samuel, saying, I greatly regret that I have set up Saul as king, for he has turned back from following me, and has not performed my commandments. And it grieved Samuel, and he cried out to the Lord all night. So when Samuel rose early in the morning to meet Saul, it was told Samuel, saying, Saul went to Carmel, and indeed he has set up a monument for himself, and has gone around, passed by, and gone down to Gilgal. Then Samuel went up to Saul, and Saul said to him, Blessed are you of the Lord. I have performed the commandment of the Lord. So what happens? It says Samuel went to Saul, and Saul said to him, I did everything God asked me to do. I did it. God told me to destroy the Amalekites, and I destroyed the Amalekites. And we just read, what did God say to do? Utterly destroy everything. And what does Saul say? I defeated them. I had victory. Okay, God didn't tell him just to have victory. He says, I want to wipe them off the face of the earth. But Samuel said, what then is the the bleating of the sheep in my ears, and the lowing of the oxen which I hear? And Saul said, they have brought them from the Amalekites, for the people spared the best of the sheep and the oxen to sacrifice to the Lord your God, and the rest we have utterly destroyed. So what does he say? He says, what we've spared, what we saved, we're doing to worship God. Think about how twisted that is. It sounds really good, but in all reality, his disobedience, he was masking as obedience. He's trying to say, what I'm doing is actually good. Then Samuel said to Saul, be quiet, and I will tell you what the Lord said to me last night. And he said to him, speak on. So Samuel said, I think at this point Saul actually thinks what he's doing is right. When you were little in your own eyes, were you not head of the tribes of Israel? And did not the Lord anoint you king over Israel? Now the Lord sent you on a mission and said, go and utterly destroy the sinners, the Amalekites, and fight against them until they are consumed. Why did you not obey the voice of the Lord? Why did you swoop down on the spoil and do evil in the sight of the Lord? And Saul said to Samuel, but I have obeyed the voice of the Lord, and gone on the mission on which the Lord has sent me, and brought back Agag, king of Amalek. I have utterly destroyed the Amalekites. But the people took of the plunder sheep and oxen, the best of the things which should have been utterly destroyed, to sacrifice to the Lord your God in Gilgal. Now there's a few applications here. I think the biggest thing to take out of this one section that I just read is Saul. Okay, we think about Saul and David. Saul and David both start out really, really well. Both have really big sin in their life, right? But one ends really well and one does not. Okay, and what's the difference? They both had their sin pointed out. Here Samuel clearly points out the sin to Saul, and David, his sin was pointed out by Nathan, right? His Bathsheba, that's what I'm talking about. His sin with Bathsheba when he sleeps with Bathsheba and then has Bathsheba's husband, essentially murdered and by his ability as king. Okay, but what's the difference? Saul has his sin pointed out and he defends his sin. That's the difference. He defends his sin and says, no, what I have done is right. You are wrong, Samuel. I am right. Basically saying God is wrong. I am right. It's pride. Okay, it's pride. David said, as soon as Nathan says, what you have done is sinful, what does David do?
Ask forgiveness, repent.
He repents. Yeah, he asks for. David was a broken man, a very, very broken man. That's a huge difference. So Samuel said, has the Lord as great in delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices as obeying the voice of the Lord? Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice, and to heed than the fat of rams. For rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness is an iniquity and idolatry. Because you have rejected the word of the Lord, he has also rejected you from being king. Then Saul said to Samuel, I have sinned, for I have transgressed the commandment of the Lord and your words, because I feared the people and obeyed the voice. Now therefore, please pardon my sin and return with me, that I may worship the Lord. Now his heart here, it sounds